Hey y'all, Ludwin here, and behind me I've got 5 pieces from Frank Letter, a designer out of Germany that we've stocked for some time now. He does a lot in the range of like repurposing dead stock fabrics that he finds along his travels. There's like some oddities and quirks to what he does, so he keeps it interesting. And yeah, we're excited to see it every time. First off, we have a pair of trousers. If you've been following us for a bit, they may look familiar. It is a style that we stock almost every season with Frank, whether it's fall or winter. And you can see Kenshawn wearing them here. It's a double pleated, like almost like a rope drawstring pant. They are an easy pant, but not in the way that a lot of easy pants we have are, because there's not exactly elastic in it, right? It's kind of cut to be a little bit of a larger size, so you have an easier time getting it up. But then once you put them on, you use that elongated drawstring to cinch it in, and it makes a nice, clean look. There is like a faux fly there, so you do get like some details that make it look a bit more, polished and cleaned up. But that's really, it's just a little detail that Frank does. The fabric itself is, I believe, he's sourced out of Austria. There's a family-run factory there in Innsbruck, and they just make like heavy-duty, heavyweight cloths for the fall-winter seasons that they have over there. And yeah, that's going to keep you warm and toasty. It really has like a plush feel to it. I feel like maybe you might see it better if I'm holding it here. It's kind of like almost blanket-like. So it almost feels like sweatpants, I feel like. At least that's how I felt when I had it on. Except like the pleats and the other details, they just make it feel a lot more put together than what a sweatpant would be. They also have these sweet vintage buttons, which you're going to see that on a lot of Frank Letter products. He does not only source fabrics, but also finishings, and he likes to incorporate those in the designs as well. And the button there kind of just like complements both that kind of like basket weave multicolor along with the drawstring. And yeah, you want to talk to them about it? How do you feel about these?
I dig these. These are cozy. These are comfortable. We've had these before in various fabrications, so I'm very used to them. But when you do get them, if you're interested in them, yeah, I think it's great that you said they feel like sweatpants. They just feel like cozy, easy pants. There's not much elastic. You kind of just cinch it. Not much to think about. I'm wearing a size large. I'm like a 34 waist, so this feels about where I typically am. Leg is nice and loose, but it is kind of like a little bit tapered down at the end, so it just cleans up the trouser a little bit, and it feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would say about him. I mean, yeah, they fit great. They look great in what he's wearing, and I think this color is an easy one to style. We have it on a mannequin with like a kind of a more brown palette, whereas he was taking it with like a dark gray situation, and I think it complements it well in both. So sweet pants. Next up, we have 2 shirts. These seem to be a favorite, a standout every time we get them. This first one we have is a shape that we're all pretty familiar with Frank. It's kind of just like, I believe, like a standard, button-down shirt. You have a single pocket. There aren't any like hidden side pockets or anything. This one is cut to be worn like a shirt, but it is in one of his like scavenged basket weave wool dead stock cloths. It's their vintage fabric edition. So these things are made in incredibly limited quantities. I think the most I've ever seen him making this is like 25 units. So I don't know how much of these were made, but you can expect that it's at least like, less than like a couple. We only have, I want to say maybe 8 in these guys. And they are cut on the slimmer side. So I would say take your usual size if you want the intended like shirt-like fit. But with a wool basket weave, a lot of times we like to wear it as an overshirt, so you may want to size up just to get that option. Some other like quirky Frank Letter bits along with just that vintage fabric edition tag. You also get this Sutherland script that you see written there. That there says, I think, the German art of tailoring in Sutherland, which is like this old typeface that they used to use in Germany back in like the early 1900s. It was like, I think, removed when the Nazis came to power. They just were like, we don't want to see that script, but Frank is now reclaiming that for himself. And it's very rare to find people that can even read that. So if you can read that, very dope. But just to know, another nod to the history that Frank likes to do. Another one that we have is a similar basket weave. I believe it was sourced from a different location, and it's in this like nice pearl gray charcoal check. It reminds me of something we had from Stofa years back. If you look at like the In Good Nature collection we have with Stofa, you're going to see a cloth very similar to this. But this time it's done in more of like a classic IV shape. You get the button-down collar. But then also it's just finished with these iconic, vintage buttons. It has a really nice like concavity to the shape. I feel like it's not something that you're usually seeing on a standard shirt. So it's I don't know, just very unique in its own right. It's the very fine details that I think make Frank what it is. And this one I think is cut slightly more relaxed than this one, but not to the extent where you wouldn't size up to have an overshirt style fit. I think your regular size still fits like a usual shirt. But yeah, 2 really great ones. Vintage fabric edition, very sick. Next up, this is the return of an oldie but a goodie. If you've been following No Man Walks Alone for years, you might know this shape. It is the short greatcoat, or maybe just the regular greatcoat, because we have another one in the back that's the long version. But yeah, the greatcoat, it's Frank Letter's iconic double-breasted coat. It's kind of like a pea coat that was really big, mid 2000s when No Man Walks Alone started. And it was a shape that just made a lot of sense with what we were wearing, and I think that still carries today. I feel like I've seen some demand for peak coats, so this is like a great time to bring it back. This kind of like a hazy a boucle twill. It's made in the same factory that the trousers were made in, so you still get that same fuzzy blanket-like cloth, but this time used in the pea coat shape. I think it makes sense. I feel like it. I'll try it on right now so you can see it. If you can help me.
Yeah.
I think that this kind of. I think they could hear it if you're holding it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It kind of feels like almost like a cardigan. I think just the way that the same way that this one felt like sweatpants. This fabric makes this feel more cardigan shaped. But iconic details to Frank and the great coat. It's gonna have slim arms. I think a bit of a trimmer shoulder than you'd expect, especially with like a lot of coats that we're wearing these days. But this is how this coat has always ran. So if you're familiar with the shape, it's gonna be the same. I am wearing an XL here, so you can see most people would want to size up for a shape that could accommodate, arms and back, depending on how developed they are. Or you can take your true size if, that's something that you're good with, wanting like a very kind of like slim, closer fit. So really sweet. I'm a big fan of it. This was something I was really excited for us to get in, and I'm glad we do. So we've got this, limited quantities, and I'm gonna swap this off so I can put on probably my favorite piece of the season, my favorite coat of the season, the Frank Letter long greatcoat. It kind of does what the short greatcoat does, but in a different way. So whereas this one had, a very interesting cloth to kind of add some drama, this one, the coat just does all the talking. It's pretty crazy. Ugh. There you go, man.
Handsome man.
Thank you. Yeah, this one's done in kind of like this like short hair Bavarian wool. It's black, but there is like some nuance to it. I feel like in certain lights, it takes on a little bit of a warmer hue. It can be that in between black brown. The hair of it really does remind me of like a camelid hair, like a vicuña or like a camel. But it is just 100% wool sourced in Bavaria. It's a small factory that he's been working with for years at this point, so he knows how to get what he wants with them. Or I guess how to get the fabric he wants working with them. But there is a little bit of a detail here that makes this part of his archive collection, which is just pieces that I think he just pulls bits from his archive and then adds it to the coats to make it, that really standout pieces of the collection. Sometimes it's old dead stock fabrics that just can no longer be produced. But this time we've got this metal clip that he found in Vienna at a market. These are actually tags that are meant to go on like livestock, cattle, and like other animals. That's meant to ID them. But instead he decided to be neat to just put it on the lapel, like a little lapel pin. And I think it's kind of sweet. I think in the copy I mentioned that the lapel is kind of like the era of the coat. So it kind of makes sense there. I think it's a cute, quirky nod and just a fun detail to otherwise make like a very dramatic black coat have some levity or maybe even some edge to it. I'm taking the XL and you can see how long this is versus the short version. I just think this is going to be my like one black coat that I'm going to wear, and it's perfect. I don't know, especially a nice breath of fresh air from a lot of the other like oversized coats that we have, which I mean I still enjoy those, I still wear them, but it's nice to have some versatility in the outerwear range, especially when it's like they're making such like statements in your wardrobe that it's nice to make multiple different statements, I think. That's what we got from Frank. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos we got dropping today. This is all we will have for this season, so if you're waiting for more, that's going to come in spring, so sorry about that, but enjoy what we have. Take care, y'all.